You won't believe what doctors found inside ordinary people. Metallic objects, no wounds, no scars, just there. And the scariest part? Some of them were still active, even after death. No one talked about this on TV. It wasn't on the news, but it was real. Secret surgeries, shared dreams, altered DNA, and implants that move on their own. This isn't sci-fi. This is the kind of thing they do everything to keep quiet. But what if it's all true? Imagine waking up from surgery only to learn that what they removed from your body wasn't human. It's happened to multiple people, and the creepiest part? Doctors had no idea how the object got there. No entry wound, no scar. It was just there, as if it had been placed by something beyond modern medicine. These implants weren't ordinary. Some emitted electromagnetic signals, others moved by themselves. One man, Dr. Roger Lair, extracted 16 of these objects. In every case, the tissue around them didn't reject the implant. In fact, it seemed to welcome it, like the body knew it belonged. But these weren't random coincidences. Victims reported strange lights, missing time, and the feeling of being watched. Coincidence? Or were these implants a form of surveillance? That was just the beginning. When these implants were tested in labs, the results shocked the experts. Many were made from metal alloys not found on Earth, or at least not naturally. Some showed unusual isotopes, the kind formed under conditions we don't have on this planet. One 1995 sample from Houston, Texas, showed atomic-level hexagonal structures under mass spectrometry, something we still can't replicate. Even after being removed, the implants kept emitting low-frequency signals, as if they were still active. These weren't just tracking devices, they had a purpose. They were gathering data, observing, or worse, influencing. And then things got even weirder. In 2024, archaeologists in Peru announced something that sounded like a bad joke, but it wasn't. They discovered supposed non-human mummies in Nazca, and inside their fossilized remains, tiny metallic implants, not jewelry, not artifacts, implants lodged between bone and tissue. Here's the twist. The implants had nearly the same composition as the ones removed from living humans. It was like the same intelligence had been operating here for centuries. Were these mummified beings test subjects, observers, or something even darker? Authorities tried to call it fake, but the lab tests don't lie. And now the real question is, why are we finding alien implants in bodies from ancient history? And what else are they hiding behind these mummies? Because what came next gets even more disturbing. Some patients showed up at clinics claiming to hear metallic voices, commands in their sleep, or feeling electrical shocks without cause. Most were dismissed as delusional, until imaging scans revealed something strange: small metallic objects embedded near the skull or nerves. Real implants, not hallucinations. Many were lodged in sensitive areas, behind the eyes, near the spine, between fingers, hard to reach spots even for surgeons. And here's the kicker. Once removed, the symptoms often vanished, as if a signal had been cut off, as if the connection was real. So who was sending those messages, and why were only certain people chosen? Are we really dealing with alien tech? Or has something been here, quietly, far longer than we realized? The next case shattered everything we thought we knew. At a conference in the US, a man named Steve shared his story. He'd removed a strange implant from his arm after months of pain, but when he tried to film it, his phone glitched out. The screen blurred, the camera shut off. He tried with a second phone, same result. Lab techs later confirmed the object emitted shifting electromagnetic fields, as if it didn't want to be seen. It responded to attention, like it was aware. The implant is now under 24/7 surveillance, but even in containment, it still pulses, still reacts. We don't know who's receiving the signal, but we do know this object doesn't want to be caught, and what came next goes deeper than blood. Some patients who had implants removed were found to have subtle genetic changes, not diseases, adaptations. Specific regions of their DNA were altered. It's as if the body had been reprogrammed. One man became unusually resistant to viruses. Another developed vivid dreams, razor-sharp memory, and increased concentration. Brain scans showed unexpected activity, as if areas had been unlocked. Could these implants be keys? Are they triggering dormant parts of our genetic code? This isn't just surveillance, it's bioengineering. And if that's true, what happens when these activations go global? What people reported next was chilling. People across the globe, with no contact, began having the same recurring dream: metallic rooms, blinding lights, and beings with huge eyes standing in silence. Most described time standing still. And one sentence, "You sit'll remember when it sit is time." Researchers cross-referenced the accounts. The dates lined up. The symbols were identical. Some even drew the same glyphs. It was like a shared memory or a transmission. Are these dreams just coincidence? Or are they mental messages activated remotely through the implants? And if these dreams are only the beginning, what happens when the signal is fully received? A woman in the US went for a scan. A metal object appeared in her leg. But days later, it had moved. No surgery, no wound, just relocated closer to her spine, like it was running. Doctors monitored it. Slowly, steadily, it crept toward nerve clusters. This isn't random behavior. This is intelligent targeting. When they finally removed it, the implant was warm. No one could explain why. There are other reports. Implants that vanish, migrate, or avoid detection. This isn't just advanced tech. This is adaptive tech, or maybe living tech. And if they're alive, what exactly are they doing inside us? Conspiracy theorists once claimed satellites could trigger implants. They were mocked until 2019. After a GPS blackout caused by the MUS-5 military satellite, dozens of implant carriers reported pain, nausea, and seizures, all at the same time. Researchers linked the symptoms to satellite activity. The question, were the implants receiving instructions? Could something in orbit be controlling devices embedded in our bodies? If implants can be triggered remotely, then this is more than monitoring. This is manipulation, maybe even programming. But why? And what happens when the network goes live? Two men, living in different states, felt pain at the exact same time, same arm, same symptoms. Turns out, both had nearly identical implants in the same location. In a controlled test, one man was isolated while the other was exposed to specific sounds. The first reported hearing echoes without audio equipment. The implants were communicating, linking them. This isn't just tracking, it's a network. And if these devices are syncing minds across distances, then a hive mind may already exist, and it may be growing. A 6-year-old girl in Mexico had nightmares of bright lights and tall beings whispering, "You'll remember when it's time." A scan revealed a tiny metallic object lodged in her collarbone. No surgery, no trauma, just there. The implant wasn't corroded, no inflammation. Her body had accepted it, like it was always part of her. Some experts believe it may have been placed before birth in the womb. So here's the terrifying thought. What if entire generations are already born connected? What if this isn't abduction, but design? In 2021, a former soldier noticed his electronics would glitch when he got anxious. Lights flickered, devices reset. His smartwatch kept crashing. Doctors found a small metallic object in his forearm. After removal, it still disrupted lab equipment. One scientist placed it in a Faraday cage, and it went silent. But once removed, it activated again. This isn't just metal. It's reactive, responsive, maybe even intelligent. If it feeds off emotion, especially fear, then what exactly is it doing when you're most vulnerable? A woman in Argentina, desperate to destroy her implant, used a blowtorch. It didn't melt. It screamed, emitting a piercing, high-frequency tone. Then the power in her home went out. She woke up hours later, unsure of what happened. The implant was gone, but a small scar had formed in the exact same place as if it had been reinserted. Maybe these implants have defenses. Maybe they can't be removed. Or maybe we're part of an agreement we never consented to. Cattle mutilations are often dismissed as hoaxes, but some animals showed signs of implants before disappearing. In 2003, a vet in New Mexico removed a triangle-shaped object from a cow. The metal matched human implant cases. Worse, it was connected to the animal's nervous system, like it was recording or transmitting. If animals are being implanted too, then someone's mapping more than just us. They're studying the whole ecosystem. And once they've collected enough data, what comes next? In 2010, a man was exhumed after mysterious symptoms before his death. A strange metal object was found near his spine. Years later, scientists tested it, and it was still emitting magnetic pulses. Placed in a frequency lab, the implant began to receive signals. From where? From space. As if someone was still trying to communicate with the dead. If implants remain active after death, maybe they were never meant to stop. Maybe they're not about the body at all. Maybe they're about something far deeper. What if you have one of these implants and don't even know it? How many people walk around every day, unknowingly being monitored? These objects aren't just inside bodies. They're inside stories, inside dreams, inside us. The real question isn't if it's happening, it's why. And if this video made you think, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and share this with someone who also deserves to know the truth.